I'm just going to ask a few questions, inshallah, to Malik Sahib, just for information, inshallah. How old are you, Malik Sahib? How old are you?
In December 78.
78. Subhanallah, mashallah. And he's finished his hifz over 15 to 16 years.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
started when you were...
2 or 3.
When you're probably about 62 years old when you started, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Can you tell us, when you were doing your hifz, did you ever feel that it's getting too much and you may want to give up, and then you then decided to carry on? Can you tell us something about that?
नहीं ऐसे नहीं no मैं जब भी हुआ तो डेडिकेशन रही मेरे साथ.
Always had dedication.
Always dedication रही. और बस ये कि फेथ था और एतमाद था और मुझे यकीन था कि मैं 60 एज में रिटायर हो गया. फिर 2 साल मैं ऐसे ही कुरान पढ़ता रहा, क्योंकि मैंने पाकिस्तान में जब गया था तो साजिदा ने मेरी हेल्प की थी. उसने बहुत, मैं बचपन में एक पारा पढ़ा था, फिर उसके बाद भूल गए, सब कुछ खत्म हो गया. फिर मैंने शुरू किया, हम पाकिस्तान में गए 92 में मैं, तो उस वक्त मैंने फिर इन्होंने मुझे पढ़ा दिया पहला एक कुरान पाक मुझे बता दिया कि ये इसके हैं, तो मैंने आसानी से पढ़ लिया.
मैं थोड़ा सा तर्जुमा कर लूँ सबके लिए, so some children might not be understand. So he's saying that when he was young he did 1 juz and he forgot it when he was young, but then later on in life, imagine at the age of 62 he's now deciding to finish the Quran. So he got some help in Pakistan and so on in doing it. Tell me what encouraged you to do the hifz? What encouraged you?
Just इस अल्लाह का करम.
माशाअल्लाह माशाअल्लाह.
अल्लाह का करम, बस उसकी तरफ से हिदायत थी मुझे. तो मैं मैंने पढ़ता रहा. फिर वो आके मैंने तजवीद और तरतील, वहाँ वो कारी खुशी मोहम्मद साहब की ऑडियो टेप थी, उसके साथ में सारा पढ़ता रहता. 3 साल मैंने वो, तो वो मैंने किरत भी सीख ली थी उनके साथ. तो अब तो खैर मेरी आवाज़ ही नहीं.
आवाज़ तो है माशाल्लाह माशाल्लाह, आवाज़ है. For 78 years old, this is very very good, mashallah. I'm going to add this, if some of you want to make hifz easy for you, you should listen to one qari. Just choose one qari, the same qari, the same surahs that you're going to listen to. You can do it on YouTube, you can do it on there are thousands of qaris on the internet, and you can also find beautiful voices. Just find that one that you like. What I want you to do is I want you to listen to it over and over again. One thing is, I have to say to you, with iman, tell me this is true or not. With iman, when you listen to someone recite the Quran beautifully, you can never get bored. Is that right or not?
Yeah.
Right, you will attest to that. So if you, let's say for example, you wanted to do the 30th juz, listen to that 30th juz from the same qari. Don't change the qari. There's a reason why. Because when he says, for example, when he says amma yatasaalun, when he does that, and you hear it again and again in your head, you're going to hear amma yatasaalun. That loon is going to carry on sticking to your head, that he raised his voice there. He put his voice down here. He's about to, say a mad, let's say for example, an ja'ahul a'ma. You know that? An ja'ahul a'ma. When you hear that again and again, it sticks in your mind. Then your own brain, your brain will repeat the hifz from the tune that you heard. And there are certain people, subhanAllah, I know one hafiz who memorized the entire Quran. He was obviously an exception. Whole Quran by listening to the Quran for 4 months. 4 months. But I mean, that's an exceptional case. Even in your case, if you do it for years, you can at least do a good portion of the Quran by listening to it again and again. As I said earlier, Malik Sahib is a great inspiration to us that he's finished his hifz. And I'm going to say a few things. What will Malik Sahib get from here, inshallah? He's nearly 8 years old. Okay? A lot of us may not reach this age. But those of us who reach this age, you want to look forward to something. So let me say what Malik Sahib can look forward to, inshallah. Now that he's finished his hifz, inshallah, he can first, in the dunya, what will he get? What will he get in the dunya? Every time he's reciting the Quran, his angels here are writing. Every letter that he's going to recite. Just now he read over a quarter juz. I mean, I can't imagine how much reward there is there. Look, Alhamdu, 5 letters, 50 rewards. Lillahi, 4 more. That's 90 rewards. With every letter you get 10 rewards. Rabbil Alameen, already more than 200 rewards. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, he's got more than 200 rewards. That's one verse, one small half a line of the Quran. Imagine when he recites the Quran again and again and again and again, how much he's going to look forward to in the next world. Number 2, because Malik Sahib, you said that you do nothing else but you just dedicate to the Quran, right?
Yes, yes.
Angels are here all the time. Angels are circulating all the time. This house will have very difficult time for the shaitan to come, for the devil to come, because of the Quran. If anybody even tries to, like let's just say any shaitan, any devil, whatever, tries to even come closer to him, they'll feel a burning sensation because of the fact that Malik Sahib is reading the Quran so much. Another one, Allah is sending His barakat and His blessings on this house and onto this place because He's reciting the Quran again. What can he also look forward to? The Prophet ﷺ has told us that on the day of judgment, when a hafiz of the Quran is raised, then forget him, forget Malik Sahib, his parents. Malik Sahib, your parents, they must have gone some time back.
Yeah.
Some time back, yes?
40 years.
40 years ago. His parents are very happy, inshallah, in the next life right now. Why? Because when his parents get raised up on the day of judgment, they're going to be given crowns of light. Crowns of light. His parents, like all the hafiz, their parents, you can see them on the day of judgment from a distance. All the ones with like a halo on top of their heads, all of them are parents of hufaz. That's their greatness. Now what will he get? Allah Azza wa Jal, now the good thing is Malik Sahib has finished his Quran at late age. You know why it's a good thing? Because you know young people, when they finish the Quran, they have to live their life halal according to the halal of the Quran, and they have to live their life staying away from the haram that the Quran has said haram. Okay? For young people it's a big challenge because you've got so many temptations. Masha Allaah, Malik Sahib has got very little temptations at this age, at this side of life, right? So, you know, it makes it more guaranteed because the Prophet ﷺ said, whichever hafiz will become a hafiz, then they live a life according to the halal of the Quran, they stay away from the haram of the Quran, then Allah on the day of judgment, when He's on the day of judgment, Allah will say, look, you're going to Jannah anyway. That's there.
Ameen.
Ameen. Everyone say Ameen.
Ameen.
Then they give 10 free tickets in his hand. These are Jannah tickets. And they'll say to him, inshallah, they'll say to him, you now look at any of your family members that have been sentenced to hellfire, you can give them this not a get out of jail like Monopoly, but a get out of Jahannam card. It's a serious thing. It's not a joke. Get out of Jahannam. So they've been sentenced to, like, let's say for example, 5,000 years in hellfire, 500 years in hellfire, 200 years in hellfire. He can just hand it over to any family member of his, and they can use that to go straight to Jannah with him. This is on the day of judgment, inshallah. The next thing he gets, according to another hadith, is when he gets to Jannah, subhanAllah, and I really in one way, if there's any, Prophet ﷺ said, look, he said, if you want to be jealous of anyone, you can only be jealous of 2 people. Hadith of Bukhari. Only is allowed jealousy only for 2 people. And jealousy in a nice way, not in a bad way. Like envy, right? So the envy that you can have is only for 2 people. One is a man whom Allah, or a woman whom Allah has given a lot of wealth to, and they are giving sadaqah day and night. You can be envious of them. And the second is one whom Allah has given the Quran, and Subhanallah, Malik Sahib just said he's got no other dedication but reading the Quran day and night. Allah Azza wa Jal has made this man someone who you can be envious of. Now when he gets into Jannah, inshallah, Allah Azza wa Jal will say, oh so and so Hafiz, I want you to start reading the Quran again from the beginning, just as you used to recite it slowly in the Quran. Allah wants to hear this nice and slowly now. Take your time, Read it slowly, just as you used to read it slowly in the dunya. So this person will say, Alif Lam Mim. Then the whole body will lift up. One daraja, one rank in Jannah, one station in Jannah, the person will be lifted up to the second part of Jannah, whatever that might be. Then they say, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And then Allah lifts the whole body up again to the second part of Jannah, whatever that might be, whichever, because Jannah has got 8 doors. But within Jannah there are thousands of different parts that are overlapping one another, an overlayer of one another. And Allah Azza wa Jal will tell him to carry on reciting until he gets to Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas. When he gets to Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas, Allah will say that you carry on reciting, the last verse that you recite, that's where your house will be. And that will be inshallah Jannatul Firdaus. Next to the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam, next to the prophets, the best of the people. So this is one thing, and I want to say to, please, all young people take a big inspiration from this. If Malik Sahib can do this at his age, then I'm sure young people can do it at their age. I remember my Ustad Mullah Fadl Rahim said, he knew of one Ustad in Pakistan who was teaching at a school with him. This Ustad was 55 years old. And he used to take a bicycle to work and back, commute by bicycle. This 55-year-old decided at 55 to memorize the whole Quran. So what he would do is that at home, he would just memorize, let's say, 1 page. That 1 page, he would recite again and again and again and again on his bicycle as he's going to school. He would teach it the whole day. On his bicycle back, he would recite the parts that he's memorized before, all the way till he gets back home. Every day, he had a chunk of the Quran which he would recite back on the bicycle there and back on the bicycle back home. And in a good few years, a 55-year-old finished the entire Quran hifz just on the bicycle. So this is again, and I'm very glad to be here today. May Allah Azza wa Jal accept the Quran recitation that Malik Sahib has done. And may Allah Azza wa Jal give him the blessings of the full Quran. May Allah Azza wa Jal fill our lives with the Quran. Now those of you who are not going to become hafiz, who haven't got the intention of becoming hafiz, let me tell you what you can do. Please, one thing, look, I have to say this. Nobody has any limit to the time limit on Instagram. When people are flicking through the Facebook videos, nobody sits with the time limit. Nobody sits with the time limit on YouTube videos. Nobody sits with the time limit on WhatsApp. Okay? Nobody sits there and saying, well, right now my time is up. I wanted to only be here for 7 minutes. 7 minutes is up. I'm going to shut the device, put the phone up. Nobody does that. Nobody, when they're looking through Netflix or they're going through their TV screen or anything, sits with a big time limit. No. Why is it that most of us sitting here cannot spend 10 minutes a day with the Quran? Regular. 10 minutes with the Quran. Half an hour with the Quran. Whatever you can do. I'm going to ask you, please, every day Quran should be part of our lives. Most of you learned how to recite the Quran when you were young. Hopefully you still know how to read the Quran. If you don't, guess what? Life's become even better. We've got many ustads in Pakistan on Skype. They're waiting for you to give 100 rupiah to them, or maybe 50 rupees to them, and they're going to teach you the Quran with good tajweed. Tell me who's got an excuse today? You've got hundreds of these teachers in Pakistan ready for you to come on Skype, and they will teach you the Quran, how to read the Quran. All you need to do is just take up the time, just recite the Quran. Even if you say, okay, I haven't even got time for that, at least you can spend 10 minutes going through, there's plenty of YouTube clips to listen to the Quran. Listen to the Quran. There's even reward, listen to the Quran. Or some translation of the Quran, keep yourself connected to it. Why? Because my friends, on the Day of Judgment, the Quran is going to stand up as a person. Let me say this inshallah, and then we're going to listen to Malik Sahib say the last few surahs of the Quran, and then we'll have a dua inshallah. Remember, on the Day of Judgment, my Quran, your Quran. This is not just the Quran Pak that you've got in your houses, no. This is your Quran involvement, the way you treated the Quran in your whole life. The way you touch the Quran, treat the Quran, the way you read the Quran, the way you practice, especially the practice the Quran. Most people think that you can just read the Quran and that's it. No. Reading the Quran is the first part. practicing the Quran, living the life of the Quran is the main part. So however our involvement of that was, on the day of judgment, Allah will bring my Quran, your Quran independently as an individual. And it will become a lawyer. And there's no better lawyer on the day of judgment than the Quran. It will either argue for your case or against your case on the day of judgment. Either the Quran will say, this person, oh Allah, listened to me, obeyed me, this person followed me, therefore I want to make sure that this person goes to Jannah with me. And the Quran, it's Allah's word. But it will carry on argument that, no Allah, please don't send it to Jahannam. Because this person treated me well, this person was with me in a nice way. And the Quran will hold the person's hand and take them to Jannah. However, if a person has neglected the Quran, you've neglected the way of the life of the Quran, you've not led a life of the Quran, you've not really given any attention to the Quran will stand on the day of judgment and will act as a lawyer against that person. In fact, the Quran will hold the person from behind their neck, argue with Allah until Allah says, okay. The Quran will say, I don't want this person to go to Jannah. This person disregarded me, this person neglected me, this person, was not there at all, had any good link with me. Until the Quran will win the argument, and the Quran will then throw the person headlong into the fire, head first into the fire. The Quran will do that. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us from this. Ameen. So we all hope, inshallah, at least if you can't become a hafiz, please have that connection with the Quran. Read some of the Quran. At least listen to 10 minutes. What's 10 minutes for anyone? Nothing. 10 minutes set aside. Something with the Quran, either some translation of Quran, something looking at the Quran. Read. I mean, we all know English or Urdu sitting here. You either know English or Urdu. Hundreds of people have attempted to translate this Quran. You got many translations there, very good translations. I'm gonna tell you right now a good couple of translations to get if you're interested in getting the translation. Here we're in Palmer's Green in Southgate Palmer's Green. There's actually a few professionals in Southgate who approached me in Palmer's Green Masjid. This was a good 10 years ago. And they said, these are elderly gentlemen. I want you to understand this. They're like 60 years old, 62, 63. They're accountants. I think they were, actually one of them was living in this house. Subhanallah, Malik Sahib. Your previous owner of this house.
Mr. Haq.
Mr. Haq. So Mr. Haq, who used to live here, his friends and him, I used to actually come to this house before Malik Sahib bought this house. I used to give some lectures in this house. There's a group of friends that used to bring me, they used to have a rotation between different houses. One of the houses was this house. Mr. Haq and his friends, Mr. Haq passed away early, but his friends really took this passion on and they carried on. What did they do? They said, at this old age, we want to go through the Quran and see what the Quran is saying to us. We want to go through a tafsir of the Quran. Imagine this, every Sunday, these gentlemen who were professionals, they had big companies out there. Every Sunday for 3 to 4 hours, they started off with like an hour. They would get together. They had a reading session throughout the week. So they said, look, next week we're going to read this one ruku, tafsir of that. They gave one person Ibn Kathir. They said, you read tafsir Ibn Kathir. You read the Noble Quran tafsir. You read Yusuf Ali's translation and tafsir as well. And next week we're going to come for 1 hour, sit together, and we're going to discuss what the Quran said. Right? They did this. You know how passionate it got. By the end, they were spending 4 hours every Sunday non-stop, and they couldn't look forward to the next session, Sunday, and they did this. Now, of course, they're not scholars, so they came across certain passages which they couldn't understand. Those are the times they used to approach me and say, can you please explain what does this mean? Can you please explain this? They used to put a little tag there, and I used to explain to them, okay, this means this means that. In a good few years, 6 to 7 years or something, they finished the whole Quran tafsir. And then they started a second time. Say Masha Allah. Second time they started. Okay, these are elderly gentlemen. I'm going to ask you guys, if you got a passion like that, you can just dedicate a bit of time every week. As long as you persevere, you can do this. May Allah Azza wa Jal, bless all of you. I was saying this, some good translation of tafsir. Okay, in Urdu, if you want to get one of the best ones is Allama Shabir Usmani, right? The Noble Quran. His translation, his tafsir, very Saudi printed in the 90s. Saudis printed this large green copy, which you can still get sometimes. Okay, if not, then you can find it very, very widely available. Allama Shabir Usmani's translation tafsir of the Quran is also in English. You can get the same one in English called the Noble Quran. I'm going to ask you to get that. It's a very good comprehensive but very short one of getting the Tafsir al-Quran. If you want to go for another one, you can go for Tafsir ibn Kathir, which is a little bit longer, right? If you want to go for something more serious, then you go with Mufti Shafi's Ma'arif al-Quran, 8 volumes in Urdu and in English as well. So if you want to go for that, a lot larger one, you can go for that. If you want to stick to, if you want to stick to just the translation and light tafsir, just whenever you want to, you can pick up Yusuf Ali's Quran. You can go through that. Get the Saudi one, which they've actually they've refined it, taken some mistakes out and so on. Or simply stick to. There's a very good translation by Mufti Taqi Usmani, or another one by Abdul Halim. These are really good translation of the Quran you can get. But if not, just stick to whatever you want and go through that. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless your time and give you a very good connection with the Quran. Give all of us a very good connection with the Quran. Ameen. I'm going to now ask Malik Sahib to recite the last 3 surahs of the Quran as a khatam of the Quran, and then we'll have a dua inshallah, and then after that we can enjoy whatever food has been prepared inshallah. So Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب امرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر حاسد إذا نفث في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس صدق الله العظيم صدق الله رسوله
آمين. ما شاء الله ما شاء الله.
اللهم أنا استواشي في قبري اللهم ربني بالقرآن العظيم وجعلوا لي إماما نورا ورحمة اللهم لكشني من مال اللهم ذكرني من ما نسيت وعلمني من جهلت وارزقني تلاوته آناء الليل وآناء النهار واجعلهما حجة يا رب العالمين آمين.
We're going to make a dua now, inshallah, if everyone joins in, and then we can enjoy the afternoon, inshallah. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. اللهم يا حنان يا منان يا حنان يا منان يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث. نسألك اللهم يا الله يا رب السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهم كما ربونا صغارا. Oh Allah, we ask you to accept this recitation from Malik Sahib. Oh Allah, we ask you to accept his completion of the Quran. Oh Allah, we ask you to forgive him for any mistake that is made in while completing the Quran. Oh Allah, we ask you to keep the Quran in his heart and to give him the full blessings of the Quran. Oh Allah, we ask you to make him be raised amongst the huffaz, amongst those who have completed the Quran on the Day of Judgment. Oh Allah, we ask you from this moment onwards till the time he passes away to make the rest of his life a blessing for him and for his household. Oh Allah, let him not be a burden on his family and let him not be a burden on anyone else. O Allah, we ask you, O Allah, to give the rest of his days, to make it the most peaceful of his life. O Allah, we ask you to fill it with a lot of siha and with a lot of good health. And O Allah, we ask you to fill it with the barakah of the Quran. O Allah, we ask you to keep him onto the Quran and to keep him persevered with the Quran. O Allah, we ask you to make him, when he comes to the time of his end of his life, O Allah, we ask you to make him see 500 angels that are dressed in white. O Allah, for them to come with the fragrances of Jannah, for them to call him with the best of his names that he's been called in this world. O Allah, we ask you to make them lift him up to Illiyin, to the highest abode, and for him to stay there until the day of judgment. And O Allah, on the day of judgment, resurrect him amongst the prophets, the Siddiqeen, the Shuhada, the Salihin. O Allah, let him be raised amongst the Huffaz that will have 10 free tickets for others to go towards Jannah. And O Allah, make him stay away from the haram of the Quran, and let him, O Allah, stay on the halal of the Quran. O Allah, we ask you to make him enter Jannah with the first of the prophets who go into Jannah, and for him to recite the Quran, and for him to be lifted in Jannah all the way to the top part of Jannah. And O Allah, let his final destination be Jannatul Firdaus. O Allah, we ask you to bless him, bless his wife, bless his son Jawad, bless all of his children, his grandchildren. O Allah, we ask you to bless all of those who are in this household and bless his progeny. O Allah, give them, O Allah, barakah in their rizq, in whatever you've provided them. O Allah, save them from every calamity that is around them and within them. O Allah, relieve them from any debts that they've got. And O Allah, give them the best opportunities in this world. And O Allah, make them more successful as they move along in their lives. O Allah, the same dua for all of us that are here and for all our loved ones. O Allah, give us, O Allah, good health. And O Allah, raise our status in this world, in the next world. O Allah, give us barakah and blessings in our households. O Allah, keep us together, and O Allah, bless our businesses. O Allah, we ask you to make us spend halal and to earn halal. O Allah, we ask you to keep us on the straight path. O Allah, we ask you to make us be relieved of any ailment, anything that we've got that we are asking you for cure. O Allah, give us cure from the bounty of your cure, through the barakah of this Quran. O Allah, we ask you to, Allah, fulfill any lawful desire that we've got in our hearts at this moment. And O Allah, we ask you that you also give us the best of whatever you've written for our qadr and for our fate in the future, and save us from every evil that is lying ahead of us. O Allah, we ask, O Allah, dua for the Ummah at large, for our brothers and sisters anywhere in the world who are suffering. O Allah, especially in Kashmir at this time. O Allah, we ask you to relieve them, to give them peace, to give them a stable future. O Allah, to revive their lives. O Allah, to mend their houses, to mend their hearts, to free the children and to free the women and any other person there who is under occupation. O Allah, we ask you to bring the best solution to that part of the world. And O Allah, our brothers and sisters in any other part of the world who are suffering, who are asking for help, O Allah, we also make dua for them. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Jazakallahu.